Hello there.
Hello there.
My name is James, and I am absolutely, positively, definitely qualified to be giving you life advice.
It's not true. That's impossible.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true.
No! No!
Have you ever had it where you just want to get along with everyone, but no matter where you go, what you do, there is always someone who just doesn't like you. Someone who wants you to know that they don't like you. Someone who will look down upon everything you do in the worst possible way. Someone who wants you to be miserable. Well, here's what you need to do. And bear with me for a moment. At first, this might sound like bad advice, but as you'll come to see, this is miraculous advice. This is the creme de la creme of advice. Mwah.
I'm not trying to rob you.
What do you do when someone doesn't like you? You need to be not bothered by them. In fact, you need to be so not bothered by them that it keeps them up at night. You need to be outwardly joyful and happy to the point it drives them to despair.
Put the lime in the coconut, she drank it all up. She put the lime in the coconut, she drank it all up.
To the point you live so rent-free in their heads that you practically have a luxury holiday villa in their dreams. And they dream that you're having a party with Keanu Reeves. And that Keanu Reeves is your new cool best friend. And they're so jealous of your cool best friends that they heave and they writhe and they cry in the night, like a siren wailing to the seas. And they're so jealous and miserable and despairing at the thought of you being not bothered, happy, joyful, and having friends that they begin to stew and marinate and ferment into the finest of wines that you drink, and it fortifies you and it makes you stronger and happier.
Alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
I'm not an alcoholic, actually. Yeah, I'm only here because I got a little drunk and I threw a flaming bag of feces into a building and I kind of burnt it down a little bit.
And their deeply brewed obsession with you becomes so extreme that it shows them up in public. And in their madness, every bad thing they've ever said about you becomes subject to a reasonable doubt. And after such a long time of dwelling on you, they realise you've never even said a bad word about them. In fact, it's as if you barely noticed them at all. That their hatred isn't even worth your time. That all the misery they have experienced is not your doing, but their own.
Your fault. It's all your fault. It's all your fault.
It's all my fault. It's all my fault. It's all my fault.
That you've been nothing but nice and courteous, and they've wasted their entire life on a completely unnecessary and one-sided feud, when they could have been spending their lives enjoying themselves and being not bothered by you and doing something worthwhile. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a bum, which, let's face it, is what I am. Don't waste your time thinking about people you don't like. After all, there are only so many hours in the day. The clock is ticking. They're getting older. They're not a kid anymore. They're 45, and they've wasted most of their time dwelling on you and making themselves miserable to the point of insanity. The clock is ticking. Now they're 55, and that's the same number of hairs they've got left. The clock is ticking. 65. They have severe gout from living off nothing but pork scratchings and Monster Energy drink for 50 years. 75. They've got 3 hairs left. They should have taken care of their health like old Gary from across the street who eats 5 fruits a day and somersaults on the kitchen table. 95. A kid accidentally bangs into them with a flying skateboard. They're concussed. They realise they've spent too many years torturing themselves with hatred for a person they've not seen in 50 years. They wish they'd lived life differently. They wished they'd lived life to the fullest. They wish they'd focused more on what brings them joy and fulfillment than the random and inconsequential people they hate. 105. They are alone. No one has stayed by their side because they've spent most of their life being an insufferable kebab handle, lashing their own misery out on everybody who's ever loved them. There's nothing left for them but future medical ingenuity keeps their heart beating day after day, month after month, year after year, and the sweet relief of death just won't come.
Why was I programmed to feel pain?
275. What's left of them is barely human. Elon Musk has enslaved humanity to a mechanical consciousness where everyone has to buy his latest tech lest their mind glitch in a never-ending techno-insanity. They look in the mirror and they don't recognize themselves anymore. All they see is a shell of replacement biomechanical parts. All they see is a lost history that they never lived. And in its place, a depressed cyborg that can no longer feel love because they have a robot heart. And that cold metal heart will keep on ticking and ticking and ticking until the next supernova, and they will have a figurative eternity regretting that they spent their entire humanoid days needlessly hurting and hating others, only to make themselves less fulfilled and more miserable.
100,000 years later, the Earth is a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
They rise from the ashes and see an ancient statue, and they look closer and closer and closer at the statue. And they realize it's a statue of you with a plaque. And the plaque says, an inspiration to us all. Never bothered by a thing, and enjoyed life to the fullest of their capacities. 5.5 billion years in the future, their indestructible robotic remains are floating through space, transformed into an eternally suffering digital consciousness by the future evil cyborg emperor Elon Musk. And in the cold darkness of space, they see an expanding light, and they gaze into the wondrous light and feel the warmth on their robot skin. And they realize something. The supernova has come. They've waited forever for this. And as they disintegrate into the rapturous heat of a collapsing star, they have a final dream. A dream of someone living a happy life, a life of joy, love and laughter. And they realize they could have been that person.
I'm a pigeon guy. I always fly birds, pigeon.
But their need to inflict misery kept them from being happy. Instead of stewing alone in hatred and self-pity and being rubbish to others, they could have danced the dance of life. They could have been kind. They could have been living la vida loca. And as they pass into the sweet abyss of nothingness, because robots don't have souls, so they don't go to heaven. And as they pass into the sweet abyss of nothingness, they say something to you, to everyone, but most of all, to themselves. The last words to slip from their crumbling metal lips are, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Congratulations!
Well, that got weird and dark and strange, and I bet you're wondering why you stayed watching this long. So to sum up, if someone doesn't like you, be so not bothered by them that it keeps them up at night. Thanks for watching. I'm Mojo James, and I am definitely, absolutely, totally qualified to be giving you life advice. I wish you all the very best. Bye.
Adore me for the things that I buy. There's always a trend I can get behind. Flashy phones and big screen TVs, fast cars and fitness tees.